Okay, so we left off talking about adding an employee appreciation day. So I selected January because I know it's a downtime in the vineyard. It's also a time when we traditionally have slower traffic after the holidays. But I really think we need an annual celebration of teamwork. So there are a couple keynotes here. We would want to make sure that it's an inclusive and friendly workplace and should encourage learning about all the people on our team and their needs. And we have to make sure that the appreciation effort is genuine. Um, and so, some things that we can do right away, I'd be happy to launch a birthday and anniversary program, as well as kind of nestled under that when folks might be expanding their families or have some kind of illness. Excuse me, we would recognize them and send them a card. So, just need a small budget to be able to maintain that. And once again, if I haven't mentioned it enough, you guys have to be invested. This has to be from the top down. So, some other ways I recommend us improving the employee appreciation that we send out would be to make a little more comfortable break room and just providing some basic amenities when our employees are taking those breaks. And also just encouraging our management team to start each day not with a task, but before they even plug in their computer, grab a cup of coffee, walk around, say hello to everyone, see how everybody's morning or day is going, if they need any assistance with anything, and just kind of checking in. So, also, when we do have this Employee Appreciation Day, a big part of making it successful would be having our management staff kind of circling and also sitting down to talk with everybody, not just kind of clustering by the folks we always see. And if you guys have it in the budget, I recommend we make it inclusive of families so that we can have folks bring their pets, their kids, their partners, all their loved ones to see some of the hard work that they do on a day to day basis. Another way we can improve. So, suggestion number 3 here is increased employee participation. Some folks in the academic world call it participatory management. And I think we can do that in a couple of ways. So, some highlights here would be that it provides employees with more day to day input, paid time set aside for lobbying and volunteering, and creating an online system. But just a little background for why this is important for employees. Participatory management, I think, could be facilitated through semi annual staff meetings. I do love some staff meetings, but I also think they need to be concise and on track. So I think by hosting them twice a year, kind of at the beginning, at the end of our growing season, we would have a couple elements that we want to cover. And the way that we cover them is going to be really important. We need to be transparent in our information sharing, letting folks know when we're doing well, but then also being honest when we're coming up against some roadblocks because some of our employees might have some really great suggestions for an alternate route. Also, offering professional development and encouraging employee participation in the decision making. So, I think if we ended up hosting these semi annual staff meetings, a great way to structure it would be kind of updates within the first hour. Anybody who's partaken in professional development kind of shares what they learned from that experience. But then also just setting aside some time for all of our staffers, including our part time and seasonal staff, for research. So that can mean, visiting another vineyard to see their firsthand practices, maybe watching some TED Talks, maybe getting a little computer time when they're at work, or even at home and getting paid for it. But I know some people might worry about the abuse of this kind of freedom. But I think if we structure it the right way and also just encourage those employees to give their feedback, it can positively impact our profit and employee satisfaction as well as foster a sense of innovation. So, in addition to the semi-annual staff meetings that we want to have, I want to make sure. I want to make sure that we also encourage the paid volunteering. So I think we should have one day a year where the whole staff goes to volunteer. I think a great community partner could be Project Grows because they're trying to combat childhood obesity by exposing youth to vegetables. and just getting them to try new things. I think also this is a great way that you guys can kind of lead the forefront in agriculture rights. Unfortunately, ag workers are a lot of the time overlooked when it comes to laws and practices that are protecting them. And I think because that's going to be a big part of our workforce and our make or break point in our success, that we should create some time that those folks can go lobby and speak with elected officials regarding their rights. But just wanted to end the note. I know you guys are movie buffs like myself, and Francis Ford Coppola, when comparing filmmaking and winemaking, said, "The two professions are almost the same. Each depends on source material and takes a lot of time to perfect." So we're doing great at the 5-year mark here. The big difference is that today winemakers still worry about quality. And my big argument and just big takeaway for you guys after our meeting today is that we're not going to be successful unless we really invest in our people. And there are some great ways we can start doing that right away, and some ways that we're going to need to brainstorm together and figure out how to bring them to fruition. So, questions? What can I help you with?